is in reference to the retirement program. City employees have the PERS, Ohio PERS program. Police and fire have the, what's the code for police and fire retirement? OPRS, police and fire? OPNS. Okay, whatever that is. Okay, I can't hear you. Anyway, it's the police and fire versions of the PERS. The interesting part about that is by state law, we are required as a city to pay a portion of that. We have to pay, I believe, 14% for the PERS portion, the city's portion of that of the employees' salaries. But on the fire, currently we pay 24% towards the retirement of the fire employees, and we pay 19.5% city match for the police officers. So those matching funds that we are required by state law to pay, we actually have to calculate that in the salaries and earnings and costs of our safety forces and our city workers. Everybody has it. It's just the percentages are different. Because the police and the fire are different, and if you noticed recently, there was a proposed change by the teachers' retirement program in the state of Ohio that was trying to address reducing those costs because the state pension funds are also struggling. Their investments haven't been bringing as much. Folks get in the program. They make a little bit amount of money, throughout their career, and then at the end of their career, they get a big paying job, and that increases or inflates their retirement numbers for the rest of their retirement. And so they're concerned about these heavily inflated retirement programs that people were paying in a low number, retired a high number. There's a lot of things like that they're concerned about. But the one thing that they're looking at is to try to stabilize these funds at the state level, is they're saying, first, police and fire are different by 5.5 percentage points. We really need to equal them out. But the fire is slightly behind, as well as the police is behind. They're looking at raising both of those to 25% is what we're hearing as far as a proposal.
Hey, Mayor,
yeah.
The House Bill 69 shows no increases to the city on either of those.
That's one version of it.
That's the version out right now.
Right, and so what's happening is there's going to be competing versions, and so we're watching those closely.
And we've turned in a proposal that'll make us compliant with the 30-year funding.
Right.
That I don't believe will increase any cost to the city.
Well, we're hoping so. The point is these are things that are being discussed and talked about, and as I mentioned, none of these things are for sure, and even if there's a piece of legislation, it doesn't mean it's going to pass, and it still has a chance to be lobbied and amended and so on. The point is, the risk factor on this, if they raise police up to match fire, or if they raise them both up to the 25% match to stabilize the fund, those costs to the city could change anywhere from a couple $100,000 to $500,000. So I put that out there because we need to keep an eye on those things. If they're proposed and they happen, it could affect our budget by annually roughly $500,000. And depending on when they start that or put it into place is when it's going to affect us or may affect us. The other thing they're looking at is changing the PRS retirement from your 3 highest years to your 5 highest years. And a few other things they're looking at, putting a cap on how much it'll increase if you go on.
Mayor.
Yeah.
None of those changes have anything to do with the city's budget.
No, they don't. But what I'm doing is I give a recap of what I've been briefed on. So thank you.
I understand, but I don't know that that's appropriate for this meeting. We're not talking about our pensions here. We're trying to figure out the city's finances.
I understand that. Thank you. Some other things that they're looking at, which could affect our employees. Or I take it back, it could affect property tax owners. And they're talking about the property tax rollback issue. The property tax rollback issue is where the state was holding property owners harmless in reference to some tax changes they made a while back. And the state was picking up 12.5% share of property owners' property tax. If they look at eliminating that, that means that property owners' property taxes would immediately go up by 12.5%. Again, this is one of the things that's being discussed. It may or may not happen, or it may not happen to the fullest amount. But you're right, that doesn't affect our budget. But it may, if, for example, I know SARTA was here. SARTA is going to the public to ask for a renewal tax. The schools have to go back, the Parks Department has to go to the ballot, the Recreation Department has to go to the ballot, asking about levies and taxes. And if our constituency gets hit with a 12% or even a 4 or 5 or 6% increase on their property tax, it's going to be highly unlikely that they're going to allow the city, the parks, the libraries or anybody else to